Everybody, welcome in. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin, episode 30. I'd be the one
30.
and only Big Spoon.
God. Half a year on this BS.
Oh, it's been 8 months. What are you talking about?
I said over half a year.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
The primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share our thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for our guests or comments, or anyone's comments or actions based on this material. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no editing, adding to or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at Real Talk at Spoon and Puddin. Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin at gmail.com. Been a long few days.
Oh, really?
What?
I see you got something fresh to.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
Looks good, don't it?
Yeah, I forgot it was late last night when I got home. I forgot to hang or put mine up out front by the road. I'm not in the city limits though, so
I don't even know if you're supposed to put them up in the city limits, but but it's your side, so you can do with what you want. I'm talking about
put it up outside of the city limits or in the city limits.
I said I don't think I'm supposed to put any up outside the city limits.
Oh, it was dark. You know, we got back from Sam's late last night, and it was kind of dark, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, I forgot all about it. Honestly, I forgot I was even in the car.
What?
Yeah, I forgot I was in the car. I was like, unloaded. Oh, shit, I forgot to put this side up. Yeah. We checked the mail. What? We're talking about that. But, no, I see you got them in, so they're available if someone lives inside of the city limits and believes in what Mr. Cole says. I don't,
We got several of them placed.
Yeah, I seen one the other day in front of a business too, up there by Kirby at the Kirby stop, a real homemade big one from your buddy, right in Thomas Dillard.
Oh, was it?
Oh, God, it's huge. We was laughing at it. We was on our way to Sam's Club and we seen it, and I was like, oh boy, like half a piece of plywood.
I think my sign's turned out pretty good myself.
Yeah. Well, you gotta get some more. I don't think you got enough.
Guess who designed it?
Mm-hmm.
My 14-year-old son. I let him do it.
Oh.
I helped him tweak it a little bit, but he done most of it. Looks pretty good.
Looks fantastic.
It's fantastic. If you like what you see.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Lordy.
What? Yes.
But I don't get it. You get the. So what was we going to talk about today? The railroad strikes, about the only thing in national news I seen that mattered last week.
Yeah. It could. Well, Hinkle's been out of chemicals because of the railroad. They're blaming the railroad strike or the possibility of railroad strike. So for the last few weeks, they've been real slow because they've been out of chemicals. Like they get a tanker in, it don't take long to run through that, and then they're waiting a couple of days for the next one.
Oh, I don't know. No, that was one of the big things on my mind. I was thinking about that, and I was like, boy, let that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, other than the inflation, well, the inflation's still there. It ain't going away, and it ain't going to stop soon.
I think the other day they said it was like 9.3, and I think you said
it was 8.3. I think was the overall, but they don't measure it correctly. They don't include the important things like food and rent and stuff like that. No, they don't.
Come on, this is not clean.
They'll put it back. It's more like 15%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 15 to 20%, I think, if you factor in everything. Yeah, they're factoring in things like you can't eat like your phone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not
Well,
factoring.
I don't think people realize if they went on strike what devastation it would do to the country, right?
Mm. The truckers were striking in the 70s, and I don't. It sucks that they don't stick together no more. I mean, we stick together real quick and get all those management and safety people that all stick together and put them in their place.
Oh, if you got the truckers to stick together, you could pretty much shut down the country. And
Oh, it'd be easy.
and if you got the truckers and the railroad to strike at the same time,
What I don't, what I don't
you would just
understand about
devastate it.
what I don't understand about the railroad is why is the president involved? I did see that on the news, and I was like, "Hell's he involved for? He doesn't need to be involved."
Well,
You know,
I guess he's worried about. Uh,
people don't understand. Teddy Roosevelt was one of the first that threatened to nationalize it because the coal miners they were getting ready to go on strike, and Teddy Roosevelt threatened to go in and nationalize them. Again, if you nationalized it, doesn't mean that even the people that you know you don't have to work if you don't want to. That's what's been so hard about returning to normal since all the shutdowns. Some people actually got a bunch of free money, sit at home, figured out ways to invest it in online, and learned how to play stocks. And now that's all they do. They ain't going back to work. Why do they want to go back and make creamer at the dairy farm? You know what I'm saying?
what, baby?
I said, speaking of, he bent it.
It's all right. Oh, yeah, that's some people, but there's quite a few people that ain't back to work because they still getting free money.
I'm not. I wouldn't say it was the free money. I'd say that some
And
people figured out other things they'd rather do.
and it's not free money because it costs us.
Well, there is no such thing as free money, but unless you own a bank, then they can just print free money.
Oh yeah.
We're talking to the rich families in Portland who own and
Well,
cobbled up next to banks.
the overdraft fees and stuff. What was the bank? Was it? Can't remember the bank, but they made like $1.5 billion in overdraft fees in 1 year.
Stupid. That's transferring money from the people who really it's hard for them to afford life. To the people at the top.
You might need that again if you spill it again.
But anyway, I said the strikes. I was watching that a little bit.
What did the president have to say about it? That's the question.
I don't know. Luckily there weren't stairs, so he didn't have to figure out how to get off the stage.
He didn't have to ride a bicycle, did he?
No, I didn't fall over. I was surprised they ain't already just said, "Oops, he died of COVID." And it was a pillow. Oh boy, I don't know. The backup just sure isn't. Boy, I'm glad to think he didn't pick Hillary. He'd have been dead months ago.
Where's the straw?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, Epstein, he hung himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you see pictures of his cellmate, no, that wasn't the type of guy you can send in.
If you believe Epstein killed himself, I have oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you.
I go to New Mexico. It's even further inland. But other than that, I did buy something for the show. I don't know if anybody's ever seen these. Here's just a little card that came with it.
What'd you buy me?
It's called Fulgurite, lightning fused sand. I seen about a long time ago, and the stuff can get quite expensive. The bigger ones,
Dad, why do you have to
but that's all it is. It's little.
What?
Why do you have to record it on your phone? Too?
I'm not. I'm watching it.
See, it's sand
Yeah.
that got hit by a lightning strike, and
Right.
it fuses it together like under the pressure and the high temperatures.
Hey,
but it's basically a lightning bolt. But I was thinking about this the other day when I was sitting there thinking about the elections and everything that's wrong in this country. And it was that eureka thought when I thought, man, blockchain, that can fix a lot. Blockchains are going in directions that's going to really fix a lot of problems in this world. And I was like, that was when I thought, man, if you just put all the voting systems on a blockchain, it would really, truly, it could almost overnight, if that was how voting took place, you could never question it again because you'd be seeing it organically grow in high speed. You know what I mean? Like watching a plant grow in high speed.
Yeah, but the two parties don't want it, see?
Well, another two parties don't want it, and that's why it's absolutely necessary.
Exactly.
I even bought a bigger one. It was funny, the Hobbit's in there when this came in. She's like, "Why'd you buy a rusty rock?" This one right here, another piece of fulgurite. Basically, it was beach sand, and it was a Georgia beach sand that got hit by a lightning bolt. But it fused it together. But that's what I wanted to tell people, honestly, if both parties don't want it, then that's why you absolutely need it. Because they can't never say, hey, we're going to let you win this time, or we're going to let you win this time. None of that. It's gone. If this country was, and then did you watch that Andrew Yang guy I sent you? That video?
I don't remember. I watched so much stuff.
Well, it was he created his own party called the Way Forward Party or something. But John Strassel had him on. I don't agree with a lot of what he says because he's, universal basic income and modern monetary theory, which is definitely where we're heading. But he had the idea of saying, pick your first choice for candidate, and your second, third, fourth, fifth. You could literally pick all the candidates as for president that you want, and then you just put them in order: 1, 2, 3. If your first choice, if it becomes mathematically impossible for him to be the candidate, it would revert to your second choice.
Right.
So everybody out there that says that, well, I don't want to throw my vote away.
No, the classic line is I got to vote for the lesser of two evils when they have 4 or 5 people on the ballot.
Yes, I know. That's the line. That's what his idea, Andrew Yang's idea had was if you voted in position of your first, second, third, like for the people who lean right, but want to see a third party, you could vote Libertarian, then Trump. Last election, if you lean left, you could vote Libertarian, then Democrat. Basically, if the Libertarian in Tennessee had 0 chance in hell, your vote would flip back to, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would go back to the left or the right of the same bird,
Yeah.
So,
or if your first 2 choices were Libertarian, Independent, neither one of them have a shot. It'd go to your third choice.
Yeah, which would be shit. That damn bird is still flying the damn plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got a bird with a blue wing and a red wing.
It's a blue ring and a red ring, and it's an ostrich flying a plane and has no business in the damn air because all they do is help themselves.
What?
But now I mentioned the fulgurite because I was thinking about the blockchain, and basically, if people don't know what blockchain is and what Bitcoin was, it's a ledger. All it is like a spreadsheet or a ledger that says, like for 2022, when it's time to go vote, if you had blockchain voting, when you casted your ballot, instead of getting a receipt, it would be noted in a blockchain. And not only the computer at your district that carded it, it wouldn't be registered there, registered across every one of them, the whole state, like statewide. Seeing that 2022 is just a, mainly state, I think that you got to get rid of I'm gonna look it up. But if you had if you did it statewide on 2022, it would be every computer across Tennessee, every computer across Kentucky. When you voted, that went in there on a ledger, and all the computers are tied together, and they would all have that information. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you voted at 10 a.m., at 7 p.m., your vote would still be seeable. It wouldn't really be for you to actually pick it out of the big blob of votes, but it would still be there, and it can't be moved. It can't be switched. It stays there permanently.
Yeah. Well, once you vote, it's over.
Yeah, it doesn't get retracted. It doesn't back up.
So
It doesn't flip parties. It doesn't do any of that.
So it takes that who counts the votes out.
Yeah, pretty much. It gets rid of the old Stalin. No, I don't care who you vote for. I just care who counts it. Gets rid of his. It gets rid of his problem that has been, I think, very present and prevalent in this country for a long time.
Well, just like I'm running for mayor. I mean, you talked about that. It doesn't really matter who votes; it's who's counting the votes.
Like I said, some people Masons, other people could say it's the Jews, other people could say whatever entity, insert entity here that you think is the corrupt ones, and then they can't manipulate anything anymore. They lost their control, which is what needs to happen. But I do think, like my thing, Amendment 17 needs to go. If you haven't looked at Amendment 17 in the Constitution, it was passed by Congress May 13th, 1912, ratified April 8th, 1913. And it got rid of the senators. It changed the Senate. The Senate was always meant to be the bodies for the state. That, the senators were sent up there to vote on behalf of the state and the state government. The senators were sent up there like from Tennessee or where I'm from, Florida or Kentucky, whatever. Most of our audience is Tennessee and Kentucky, but the senators go up there. They're supposed to be sent by the state, the governor, and they're supposed to vote on federal bills, how the state interprets it. Is it good? Is it bad? The way the founders set this up was, Congress, a body of the people, voted by the people. It wasn't voted like it is today. It wasn't voted back then. It was usually maybe rich landowners. If you don't know what the 3/5 compromise is, y'all can look that racist thing up because it was.
Wait a minute. I bet Mr. Diller knows what it is.
He probably does. We need to go back to 3/5 compromise.
sorry. I had to throw a little pun in there at him.
Well, hey, it's just politics, Mr. Diller. You opened up that can of worms.
I'm sorry. It was too funny. I had to do it.
Well, that was the 3/5 compromise put into the Constitution. It wasn't one person, one vote. If you was black, you only got 3/5 of a vote. It took.
That's why I said Mr. Diller knows what it is.
Oh my goodness.
We're not laughing at the racist part of it. We're laughing at Mr. Diller.
I missed his Monday. I missed his Monday news thing of fame. She did show me the city government or whatever putting out we're sorry for all this racist drama.
Oh yeah.
He just can't shut up.
It's funny because they claim to be, that we're in the middle of the Bible Belt, and the mayor, the people cling to him. Oh, he's a Christian man. He's a preacher, this or that. They put all that label around it. And then to the forefront of the city pictures, you have the officer and the lady that worked for the chamber who were having affairs on their spouse, huddled up together because they're in a relationship now. And then you got Mr. Dillard, who they got labeled as a racist. That's the forefront of your city, and you're supposed to be in this big religious Bible Belt. It's like,
yeah, and Portland's supposedly a great place to be. Yeah, made a great place to be. You still you let the officer keep his job, who gets people out of DUIs. I asked him. You were standing there. I asked him on July 1st. Put fluoride on the agenda. I want to talk about it. And all he walk away. He's got. Don't tell me that the mayor doesn't have the ability to put that on the agenda.
Yeah, he does, but it don't affect him. It doesn't. benefit him or his cronies. So why would he put it on the agenda? That was July 1st.
It
This
was
is
still
what,
a request.
September 18th.
Yeah, it was. That was July 1st. Well, it would save almost $2,000 or something. In fluoride purchases.
And Amy talked about, and then that officer hides behind a fake profile harassing people on Facebook.
But no, what y'all don't understand is the founders set this up where you would vote for your congressmen. They would go to the Congress and they would create law. That was their job. Their job was to create law. Then the Senate would review law. No, the Senate was a review. The senators were sent by the governor.
They were appointed by the governor.
Yes, they weren't voted for. You didn't vote for your senator. The governor would find someone in his. It could have been a state rep. You could be a state rep, and then the government could just appoint you. There was no voting. There was no time limit. There was no 6 years as a senator. This all changed just over 100 years ago. People don't understand that.
And if they did,
the Senate was the body that was for the state. So the Congress would make law, and the senators were more educated lawyers on behalf of the state that would read it and interpret it, and they would go through it. And then they would go through it, and they'd go back to their governors. And they would be like, all right, here's this law. This is what it could change on the federal level in our state. What do you think? And then the governors and everybody would sit down, and they would discuss it. This is bad law. Vote no. And the senator didn't have a choice. If the state decided that, no, that's bad law, do not let that go federally. Now you got, I remember they used to brag about Mr. McCain like he was a rogue, you know what I mean? He didn't vote with his party. He voted with his conscience. And they used to brag about him for that. Like what? No.
Yeah, but back then, if those senators didn't do what they were supposed to do and represent the governor and the people of that state, they recall them and appoint new ones.
Yeah.
And that's the way.
If McCain wanted to go against Arizona, then Arizona would say, hey, you come on home, buddy. You're fired. And then next person up.
It should still be that way today.
No, it should be. That's absolutely how it should be. How do you think all this color of law bullshit came through? That's how. It didn't come through with other people.
Well, it was just like, wasn't it Woodrow Wilson we got?
Woodrow Wilson was in. He was in. I think he was in when that. He was in when a lot of this shit went through.
Well, he was bought by the bankers because you got the Federal Reserve, you got the federal income tax,
the creature from Jekyll Island,
and you got World War One.
Well, you got World War One. You got the banking charter, the Federal Reserve charter, and you got the income tax, and you've got this senator. That was their giant leap forward. They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
But if you wonder why you feel like your country's been lost, think Woodrow Wilson. He lamented later in his memoirs right before he died. I think it was in like the late 20s. He lamented that the Federal Reserve Act was probably the worst piece of legislation he signed for the country. He knew it, because it gave the money powers, the power. They didn't care, but there was a couple things that he let fly through.
But I don't think most people understand that the fact that the people that control everything, the people in charge in our country, they play the long game. They've been planning everything that happens. They plan it's for a long, long time out, right? The stuff they done with the early 1900s and Woodrow Wilson, they was probably planning 30 and 40 years before that. Things that go on today, they've been planning for 50 years. Everything's just a link in the chain of the armor of what they want to happen down the line.
Well, they have great foresighted vision to say, if we get this, it'll lead to that. You know what I mean? We don't have to. Once we get that high-speed drag machine built, we don't have to floor it so everyone sees it. We'll just let it just idle, get it a nice little idle rolling start. Then we'll slowly start speeding it up so that because people at that point, once the people are born into it and raised under it and it's normalcy to them, Then we
Eric,
explore
Eric, you want to come on?
it. Oh, he's on. He's watching.
Yeah.
He's up in Ohio. I don't know. He's got his he has his aunt thing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, if you want to come on, you tell me yes, I can send you the invite. If not, you
But that's the
enjoy your family.
thing. That's the reverse of what I was showing to Florida, right? The realization that man, they had their their lightning strikes and they started just chipping away at this country over 100 years ago, and it's time to put it back. These were the checks and balances that the founders put in place to try to prevent this tyranny. You know what I mean?
Well, the wheels have slowly been turning to continuously take our rights away. And the sad thing is, these days, a big majority of people will hand not only their rights over, but mine and your rights over. Just like this right here. I tell everybody, get out and vote. The last two county elections, 14% of the population got out and vote. And I know a lot of people say, well, it doesn't do any good. I know that you feel like that sometimes. Even I feel like that sometimes. But with all of our rights being stripped, you still have that constitutional right to do. Why would you use it?
Well, again, like before, there was the talk about electric voting machines. If you go back and you watch, like I think Bernie Sanders back in 2008 or something. I think it was a long time ago. It was a real old video, but he was complaining and crying about it. Well, there's no paper trail. There's no record. It's not like when you voted on a paper machine, Bernie, that you got a receipt that said, "Hey, I voted for this person." You didn't get that receipt. Blockchain fixes it all.
You don't get it now.
No, I know you don't. Well, you don't. He was saying that the electric voting machines don't have a physical paper record for them to go back on and look. Is what he was complaining about with the electronic voting machines, which is, like I said, Bernie Sanders. Some people love him. On the left, you love him. But, Hillary and the current leaders have too much pull and they won't let him go forward. It's, he's like, what would you call him? Would you call him Trump's Darth Vader or something? Or flip it, he's Luke Skywalker to Trump, whichever party you're on, insert party, they're the,
he's the, what was the green guy?
Sauron,
the Hornet or whatever.
Hornet.
I'm trying to think what it was.
The Eye of Sauron or the
no. You're way over.
What?
You're way over base.
Mordor and the Potomac or whatever. That's what we got now. But
no, the comedic version, one of those movies you had, like the Green Hornet or whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I would relay Bernie as.
Well, I mean, he's the guy that some of the youth on the left love the man. They think free college. It's not going to free college. You're going to end up paying for it. You're going to end up paying for it through inflation. You're going to end up paying for it through taxes. You're going to pay for it. Like everybody's going to pay for it.
Like the show The Boys, Trump would be, what's his name?
Homelander.
Yeah.
Trump.
That's how people portray him. He'd be Homelander.
Some people depends on, like I said, depends on your party affiliation. If you're so brainwashed into party affiliation, which is what I try to speak against, please don't be brainwashed into party affiliations. They mean nothing. They don't mean anything.
I belong to no political party, and in my life, I have voted Republican. I have voted Democrat. I have voted Libertarian. I have voted Independent.
I've never voted Democrat. I voted Libertarian. I voted Republican until 2008. And then after that, I was like, I felt so just nasty from voting for McCain that I said, I can't do it no more. I can't vote Republican anymore.
And nothing makes me madder is when you walk into primaries to vote and you only get two choices to pick from. You can't pick for, you don't can't vote for who you want.
There's a third choice. We just aren't ever allowed to give people the confidence to vote for that third choice because they're too brainwashed into right or left, or they're too brainwashed to say, I don't want to throw my vote away, when Andrew Yang's voting idea, which again, It's a good idea because you don't have to think that way anymore. It could change your thinking. Just like blockchain, computer blockchain voting, you know, be just like Bitcoin. It would have monitors everywhere watching everything come in. So, like for instance, if 100 votes were, let's say, they were illegal votes and they were all identical and they were all cast from an absentee ballot, you know, a stack of 100 illegal votes, 100 of them going in, they would be identical and it would flag it. Hey, wait a minute. That's not, that doesn't appear to be organic. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, it needs to be more random because I seriously doubt you've ever got 100 people that vote identical. You probably don't have 5 people that vote identical back to back to back. You know what I mean?
No, because there's so many things to vote on that voter card when you go vote.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like the absentee ballot. I mean, you know, last 2020 we had the mail-ins, which was
well, you kind of got to
right for anything, was it? Freest and fairest.
Unless we go to the blockchain right now, you kind of got to have the absentee ballot.
Well, you could go to the blockchain, and you know, people could vote from their phone in Iraq. Great, you could vote on election day. You could come in during the normal times.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm saying right now,
or you could give them a 24-hour early window if they were in overseas, or like we spoke about on, you know, Red, you know, where he could go, he could be voting in Florida, which is where his home address is, while he's working in New Mexico. Or like, hey, right now, what if election day in November you're at a funeral in another state?
But why couldn't he
your
vote
vote
for
don't
both?
matter?
Why can't he vote for both? If he's living in Florida, he ought to be able to vote for Florida elections. If he's working in New Mexico, he ought to be able to vote in both.
He had something on that. He wanted to. He mentioned that they allow him to vote in New Mexico since he does have a residence there.
Right.
But it was.
But he ought to be able to still vote in Florida because that's where he lives.
I don't. It was. He called it an interim, or it's not like a real. It's a vote, but it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, he could vote for president, but once. But I'm talking about for.
Well, blockchain would fix that. Yeah, like if you lived in 2 states, you could. I mean, and in some ways, I would agree with you there. Like if you was a person, like if you was a snowbird, you had a place in Florida, a place in New York. Yeah, I think you should be able to vote for your local. In both states, sure.
Is it any different than somebody who has dual citizenship in 2 countries?
No, but I mean, your local thing, yeah, like, well, blockchain would fix that. Yeah, you'd only get 1 vote for president,
right?
You know, you'd only get, but if you wanted to vote for your New York senator and your Florida senator, sure, you know, if Tennessee was as far as you wanted to snowbird, if you didn't want to go no further north, which that'd be kind of retarded. I mean, the whole point of snowbird is to go to some place that has a lot more, you know, summer, you know, climates like New York and on up north. But still, yeah, I don't see why they couldn't vote for their mayor in whatever town, and insert town in New York State and mayor in Florida. I mean, you got to live under the guy.
Yep.
You should have a right to vote for him, you know. But blockchain, you know, could fix that. It could fix it from your phone. There could be no more polls. That's the beauty of it. And your phone could even assist with the blockchain. That's where blockchain's going. If people don't understand it, it's going that way, that your phone could also help be a register. You know, it'll do the ledger.
Need some sugar in it, don't you?
But that was basically what I wanted to talk about with the lightning strikes and the epiphanies of
what?
You know, getting onto the.
I'll get you some in a minute.
Getting on to the point about blockchain and how it could really truly get rid of this, I think possibly 100-year shenanigan of, you know, well, I don't care who you vote for, I just care who counts it. You know.
What you're talking about the blockchain going by your social security number, right?
Your social security number or whatever it is that allows you a right to vote, whatever number the government gave you that allows you a right to vote in this country. You know, if you're a resident alien, I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't get to vote in the federal, the state.
But see, the Constitution says "we the people." It doesn't say "we the citizens."
I understand.
We
I
the people
agree.
of this
No,
land.
I agree. I agree. I have arguments with people about it. It's like the whole Second Amendment, and I was arguing with people on Reddit about where the state, even in the Brewer decision, the Supreme Court justices in their dissent and their writing on the New York State Rifle and Pistol v. Bruin, they wrote that citizens instead of the people, because that's the wording that was used. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The people, that's the body of the people in the state, and I was like, yeah, I understand you, Matt LaRosier. Matthew LaRosier is who I watched. He's an attorney. He read the Bruin decision on his YouTube channel called Fudbusters. If you're into guns and you like law, probably the best. I think he's the best channel. Now he doesn't post as much as others, but I don't need to. When that decision come down, he was triggered by it, and I said, I agree with you. I can see why you're triggered because it says citizens, and everyone says, well, you wouldn't want somebody inside. Well, they're inside the country. It gives them the Second Amendment inside of the country, the borders. Doesn't say because you filed the correct paperwork. You know what I mean?
Same thing if they're over here and it's voting time.
I wouldn't go that. Like I said, voting time. I will have an issue with that because that would just mean that all foreigners just have to get inside of this country for election day, and then they could switch it.
Not if we had the blockchain, you wouldn't have to. But they're doing that already anyway.
Well, no. If you're saying that's what's going on now, yeah, I say it is. I say you've got complete it's running amok shenanigans that you have no idea what's going on. But it's happening.
Much like me and you've talked before. At what point did we stop growing?
Well, it was after the Civil War, I'd say. I mean, we added Hawaii and Alaska, but that was it.
Yeah, but why did we stop then? Like, why is Puerto Rico not a state? They have all the benefits.
That's the way they want it.
No, they would want to be a state.
No, not them. That's the way the
powers that be. Yeah.
Yes, the powers that be don't want them to be states. Just like I'm sure there's some states down in Mexico that with the cartels and the actual people in them, the states of Mexico that are, dealing with these cartels, I'm sure them people would love to vote, put another star on the flag. I don't think the founders meant for it to stop.
No, they didn't.
Like if Saskatchewan or one of those middle areas of Canada up there said, we're sick of you, Trudeau. We're going to go join the U.S. Okay, put another star up. Big deal. Or just leave it where it is and just add it to the, 2 more senators, and then they can figure out their Congress critters. But
well, like some of those small countries, I mean, they could be over in Europe somewhere, or south of Europe, and we want to be a state of the U.S.
If people don't understand economics, think about this for a minute. That countries in Africa, let's say, if they wanted to be under the banner and the people were voting, economically speaking, that would be absolutely amazing. That's how you win. That's how you win the game. You don't win the game by, being tyrants. You win the game by being benevolent. That's how you win. And we got too much in this, even this little stupid town. We'll get to your sign now.
Speaking of tyrants, vote for Charles Cole and let's get the tyrant out.
He wouldn't tell you he's a tyrant. He's a preacher, and that's what makes him qualified to be running government.
He's a micromanaged, power hungry.
Well, he gets to his occasions. You know what I mean? He gets to be his little meet and greet on the 8th, and you need to do yours on the 24th.
No, not going to.
Yes, you need to do yours on the 24th.
My son is leaving for basic, and this weekend coming up, I'm going to spend the weekend with him because I'm not going to see him for like 7 months except for Christmas. Because he's got basic and AIT training and all that stuff. He's going to Fort Sill in Oklahoma.
Huh? Was that is that artillery?
Huh?
Or is that the artillery base or?
It's an Army
But ain't
base.
that the one where they're famous for artillery or?
I don't know. There's so many of them. You have to give me a minute. I'm not done with this.
I know the 101st over there was, the air, Clarksville.
And then after he gets done with Fort Sill and some of the training there, he's going to, I can't forget, what did he say? It's in Virginia. I can't remember the base, but he's going to Virginia after that. Oh. So he'll get leave for Christmas. So from September 26th.
Is this woman going with him?
No.
Yeah, there goes that relationship.
No, she's in college.
Oh.
They're being smart about it. She's going to finish her college, and he's going to
get his GI Bill,
get his basic over with, and his training done with, and then before they move forward in their relationship.
Me and Red, we had a big thought even on the where we was really against just even the way the military's run. I mean, we had huge talks about this for hours and lamented everything on the thoughts of think about how much money goes to pay for the government or the military. Well, and think about all the freebies that they give out and stuff. And think about following the founders, and what they believed. What they believed was a Navy. That was it. If you want to put the Air Force and roll them under the Navy, that would be pretty fine because, not only could you invade our country by sea, you can invade by air. So it would make sense, because I don't think the founders envisioned fighter jets that could fly all the way around the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have the foresight to see that coming. But shrink the military down to, say, 10%. Why do we got to spend so much? And then if there was ever a need for a real war, that's what the militia's for. Call them up, train them. And we even was thinking about ways that would be debt zero that wouldn't cost anything to have people. I mean, I would, if you wanted to teach me how to fly a Chinook, I'd go over to Clarksville and spend a weekend on base, let's say once every other month or something, or once every 3 months, like once a quarter. Getting refreshers, learning how to fly. Hey, you give me something simple like no state taxes or something.
See, but you're going to have those people saying, "Oh, we got to have this large army, and it's got to be."
There's going to be them people. We got to have this large school of teachers for the people on the other side.
Hey, look at Ukraine. Half their army is volunteers, and they're whooping Russia. So
I don't know if they're whooping Russia.
Well, Russia didn't wipe through them like they thought either.
I think Russia's got them right where we want them. I mean.
Well, how long has it been? How long has it been? 6 months?
Do you think Russia really? Do you think Russia isn't thinking about war maneuvers 5 years down the road? Of course they are.
Oh yeah.
Our president can't even play checkers. Much less chess. That's what Russia's currency. When they took him out of SWIFT and was punishing him, what happened to it? He pegged the gold and it went up. Why did that happen? If you look at the Russian currency, you'll find out that, not only do your sanctions work against the person you're sanctioning, they also work against you as well.
Yep.
Now you don't have spy controls over him, and he's working with China. They're working together. They're working together big time.
I'm just wondering how long is it going to be before China acts?
Well, as your neighbor was saying, the BRICS, which he calls us BRICS Plus now, which I didn't know that. And, I knew that there was deals and negotiations going on with Saudi Arabia, but that would be the plus, BRICS Plus. Because BRICS was Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That was the countries that are in the BRICS.
Right.
Saudi Arabia wants in. So
that'll make it plus.
That'll make it the plus. That was the plus to that. So if y'all don't understand BRICS Plus, go look it up too. I knew about BRICS, but But I did know that it was on the 50-year week of going off of the gold standard. And last year is when Russia agreed to protect Saudi Arabia and give them weapons. And then Russia has been manufacturing a lot more AK-40. Okay, I don't even know what you want to call them. I think it's the AK 102, 101, and 102 variant. They're chambered in the 5.56 military NATO round, but they're AKs that shoot that bullet. And Russia's been investing a lot in that. And I think that was 1990s they started building them. But now they've got those AKs that they're willing to sell to the Saudis for weapons. That, because the Saudis have been invested so long in the 5.56 NATO round that they probably have millions of rounds stockpiled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the 90s, that's what I'm telling y'all, people. If you don't follow this, you don't understand what the military weapons are going on. And the military has been slowly, and Russia has been slowly morphing, to be more, trade friendly with other places.
Well, once they do take Ukraine and transform it all back into Russia, Putin's not the plan is that they're not stopping there, right?
I don't know what the plan is.
Well, me and you talked about it. Me and you both believed at one point, anyway, that China's going to move one way and Russia's going to move the other way, and they meet in the middle.
Well, they're already meeting in the middle. I mean, I do I think that Russia thinks it can take the whole of Europe? No. I don't think Russia's that retarded. I don't think China may try Japan if they were really feeling super we need an ass kicking, because they will. If you go after Japan, I think you're going to get you an ass kicking.
I don't know.
Japan's not going to do it, but the rest of the world will.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The rest of the world's going to step on that one. Australia's going to be, they'll move. You're going to have the, what was it? The Philippines, they'll probably move on that, because the Philippines are like, you ain't coming after us, assholes. I mean, you're going to have the rest of the world say, well, you think you could just take Japan?
But theoretically, if Russia plays the slow game like they're doing with Ukraine, and then China gets in and they play the slow game.
Well, it'd be Taiwan. Taiwan is the one that's where it's going to be. Everyone knows this.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If they go in Taiwan and play the slow game, and Russia's got Ukraine wrapped up, and then China wraps Taiwan up, and then Russia decides to invade somebody else. If they play the slow game, they could, if they play their cards right, they could take over Europe.
Well, if like I said, I love the idea of this country. I love the Constitution. I love what it meant. But you're not playing that way anymore. We're not playing by that. Imagine if Russia and China would, put the Constitution up. Well, I mean, you people, seriously, you still have Edward Snowden in hiding. He's still in hiding. What did he do? What did he do? Oh, he told the truth. He told people. He literally said, just because you followed orders did not protect you from, what was that? Nuremberg. The people at Nuremberg were claiming, well, we just following orders. That wasn't enough protection. You're culpable. Okay? So spying on the U.S. and the American people, which is what he noticed the government stuff was doing, he felt that did make him that made him culpable if he kept covering it up. That he would be guilty of violating, what was it, the Fourth Amendment, your rights to property, places, and effects. Yeah. So he felt like he was violating, and he wanted to be a whistleblower. So he told the truth, and then they still want to put that man under the jail for telling the truth.
Well, but that's how the world is today. And society is. The people who tell the truth are always going to be the victim, right? And what I mean, you're victim to the government or the powers that be, whether it be a local municipality or your own government. All right, like he's in hiding because what are they going to do to him? one theory, they're going to put him under the jail, or they're going to hire somebody to kill him, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't put him in with a cellmate like Epstein had.
Right. What I'm saying is the people that are out here telling the truth, like we do, then we get labeled as troublemakers, and we're stirring the pot, and we're spreading false information, when in fact the only thing we did was speak truth, just like Snowden. And if we were doing what we were doing on a national level and releasing some information about high-ranking officials in our government, we wouldn't still be on there, would we? We would probably be in hiding too.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
that's what I'm getting at.
They would contact the people at Facebook, which you already heard Zuckerberg. You already heard it. He was told by the FBI to bury the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Oh yeah.
That was a whoops. Probably shouldn't have said that. I'm sure afterthought he thought, damn, why did I say that? Shit.
What story? What story? I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? I didn't say that. What are you? Oh, Joe Rogan? Oh, no, I didn't say that on his show. Just like YouTube, they would have little things in their little programming and their AI. If you said this about the freest and fairest election, you're out. You can't say that. How dare you say that?
That's right. I'll be surprised after we talked about blockchain voting and stuff today if they don't.
We didn't talk about what a lot of people think happened in the freest and fairest election, which I think is what got us to flag or the strikes. And again, I don't even care. Strike us, whatever. But to the reviewers, no, we ain't talking about that. We're talking about ideas, theater of ideas. Don't care about, we can't, we're already living under that bullshit back there.
That thumb.
Yeah, they've already got that thumb on the cat or the paw on the cat, on the rat tail, what I mean, or cat's paw, whatever you want to call it. But, in Japan. But it's still, well, yeah, I mean, you said that someone's threatening to sue for defamation. Oh, well, good, do it. I want to show it on here, or at least say, hey, this person, I'm, the person that owns this business, because you own businesses. I don't. You know what I mean?
Well, what I was getting at is the truth you speak out, and you have proof of it. Then those people, or the government, or
shut him up. That's what they want to do. When Martin Luther King shut him up, Gandhi,
public service, they want to shut you up, and then they go around and telling everybody else that you're a troublemaker, you're a liar, you're spreading false information, nothing you say is true, and then everybody, not everybody, but other people start repeating that
instead of just listening to what you're saying. If what we're saying here makes sense or feels true, then you should question what anyone else tells you. And I'm not asking you to always believe me. I don't want you to always believe me.
Hey, me and you don't get along all the time. We argue about stuff.
No, we argue about your sign up there. But
what's
I
wrong
want you to go on the 24th and start handing them out so they can get around town. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to spend it. Your son could be there with you.
We're getting the signs out.
He can't be there.
Half of them already gone or more.
What?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I still think you should be. Did you order more?
Not yet, but I will.
Oh gosh, the shipping times, man. Come on.
I got time.
She says October 12th is early voting. That's why you need to go on the 24th.
I said the 8th, October 8th.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe a couple days before that, but
it's gonna have to. I can't be there. It's got to be a Saturday for me.
That's 8th.
Okay, well then that's why the 24th. You're off on the 24th. I'm off on the 24th. It's right in front of the whole stupid, and we still got to sit down and figure that out. That chamber thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. I really want to. I'm trying to think of the question that I want to ask you.
It's on Monday the 26th. I think I'm going to become a member of Chamber.
That's it. Come on, man. Don't do it, please. That's extortion, man. That's a mob. What are you talking about?
Well, I thought about just paying the money to be a member, and then I can look at the books and be in all the.
Oh Lord, please do not contribute to the mob, man.
Why
Then you'll
not?
be
They do.
just
They
like your
do.
white
They
Shingle
do.
Dillard, man.
They do great and wonderful things for this city.
Oh, bullshit. Yeah, they get their people that work for them off of DUIs. That's what they do.
No, that was the police.
They get us they get us our $12 general, whatever. You stupid fucks. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What you got going on over there? Looks like a slop.
But I mean, come on, man. Don't do that. Why would you want to be a member of that stupid club? I think I think they need to be run out of here on rails. What I think. That's not. We need freedom, not not a little tight knit club that gets contributions from the local businesses for special favors. That's just tell me that doesn't sound corrupt.
You don't want to be a member of the chamber? Come on now.
Hell, fuck them chamber. Go fuck themselves. Goddamn one of them. You get to be mayor and you do something I don't like, and I tell you to go fuck yourself.
Oh man.
Oh,
we're about
it's like I tell the current mayor, July 1st, the first time I met him, hey, on fluoride on the agenda. Next agenda wasn't on there. Next agenda wasn't on there. And he still ain't on there. Trying to save you people in Portland a little bit of money. It's about $1,800 every other month.
We went through the mayor, the city recorder, and 2 or 3 aldermen, and still getting on the agenda.
Still ain't on there. Ain't on the agenda. Even the guy you thought was your bud, now he's your, just politics.
I never said he was my bud.
No, well, he was.
I think he had it planned all along. Is what I think.
What to get? Because he was trying to get on here. He was trying to get on here back in February.
No, I think he had it planned to run all along. I think he figured he had a loophole, and he just sat back and said what he wanted to say, and let people think one thing, and then all of a sudden, oh, I even got people asking me, is there beef between you and Mr. Dillard? They say Thomas. I'm like, no. Well, I'm hearing that he was supposed to be the real candidate running, and you stole it from him. I'm like, what? I said, no. I did everything the right way and done all the paperwork, got all the signatures to get on the ballot. He didn't. That's why he's a write-in.
Well, he already found out that he's going to go before a judge, right? That his being an alderman might even be at risk now. Because you got to resign your seat or whatever.
That's what the charter states, and they voted in the last council meeting to take it in front of a judge and let the judge make a decision. So, I mean, that's out of my control, or even I would think the judge would side on the side of the charter, but I don't know. The judge is supposed to be impartial, so who knows what the judge is thinking that day? You know what I'm saying?
Who cares? I mean, honestly,
he could come out winning on all sides, or he could come out losing on all sides, or he could come split. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't steal votes from you. That's all I hope.
Oh, he's going to.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I already heard about something last night that mutual person that we know that lives over there by the car wash was talking about him last night or something. Huh? What? Hush my mouth.
That's fine. I mean,
I don't watch Facebook. Okay, she monitors Facebook. She's my Facebook mentor.
my sign's going in that yard right beside of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he said his sign's going in that yard beside of his. He's got big signs now. Like I told you, he's making it real big. Like he wants to show everybody, my name is this. And,
yeah, but his is illegal.
Huh?
His is illegal. Mine's not.
Why? Because it said paid for by candidate.
Yeah, does it say paid for by whoever bought them?
He probably didn't pay for it. It looks like he made them.
It doesn't matter. A sign's a sign.
Well, he's going to just go get a rubber stamp and just run around all of them and stamp it on there. Then. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying.
Huh? Oh. Well, here you go. Now you're trying to use the tools of government to take down his signs.
No, I'm not going to take them down. I'm just saying.
No, you're giving the current mayor an
he's in violation of the election rules, and I know for a fact because he said it to me that his people donated for him to get his signs. They paid for them. So if that's the case, it's got to say paid for by whoever. If I got to follow those rules, he's got to follow those rules.
Well,
guess what? I paid for mine. Look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just, like I said, I have. They were about $10 a sign. I have your $10 for.
I don't want no.
Well, I just want to give. I know you paid for it. I want to help you. I'm going to
Shut
help
up.
you. We'll give you what? Okay, I'll give you
Shut up.
$9.99. So you paid 1 penny for my sign. How's that?
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I don't want you. Like I said, it's everybody acts like you splitting the vote or whatever. You didn't steal nothing from that man. Your biggest thing, I think your biggest claim to fame is even for the 26th event. You've got to call out or go in late. You know,
I've already scheduled off.
so that's what I'm saying. You have to take off from your regular job, unlike these
Yep.
other people that either own their own businesses or inherently wealthy, or their business is being mayor. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I'm. This is costing me a whole lot to try to do something good for the people and to represent them. I mean, not only am I spending my own money on signs and everything else, I'm missing work on days to do these events that the city and the chamber schedules. You know, they don't ask, hey, what's good for y'all? They just do whatever's good for them. And then I can either be there and talk to people and get my name out there, or I can go to work. And I choose to miss work so I can hopefully get my name out there and give the people another choice.
I'm just trying to figure out when you're going to do your meet and greet. Have you figured it out yet about where to do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm about 90% sure where I'm going to do it.
90? Just pretty sure. You ain't told me yet.
Well, I'll tell you off air.
I was hoping you did it at Richland Park or something up there. That's where I was hoping you do it, or one of them pavilions or something.
We're about to end this.
Well,
but the most important thing, people, is get out and vote. And do not vote for somebody just because you went to school with them or you go to church with them or they've been your neighbor for 10 years. Vote for who you think is the best candidate. If that's not me, I'm fine with that. But just get out and vote and use your constitutional right. One of very few that we still have left. And if you don't know anything about me, get to know me. You can message me. I'll give you my number. You can come to the meet and greet the 26th at 5:00 at City Hall. Whatever you need to do. As the old lady shakes her head over there.
Well, you got my aunt said something about Scruggs, I guess, you know.
Duel?
Yeah, she didn't know about him, and she was mentioning him, and I said, well, you know, you and Scruggs are on the same page.
Yep.
You're probably the candidate, I think, that, and I'm just saying what you've told me off air about it was, you know, she was talking about, you know, her neighbor and stuff and the Scruggs and all that, and that's why I told her, I said, well, you know, you're on that. Y'all talk, you know, and Scruggs decided to go for alderman instead of trying to take the top job or run against you on the top job, unlike everybody thinks you stole Thomas Dillard to run for the top job.
Yeah, I've been on the ballot officially for
that idiot had a seat. That idiot had a seat, and if he was smart, he would have said, I'm going to run my seat out. I'm not going to run for re-election, and I'll come back in 2026. That's what he should have did, but he didn't. That's the same. I mean, Mike Callis did it the right way. He quit being an alderman for 2 years and then ran for mayor. That was probably the smart way. If you wanted to step up, you know, step out for a little while, and then step back up. Where Mike Callis rubs me wrong is God told him to do it. That's where I'm like, yeah, your mind.
Well,
you knew what you were doing.
What people got to understand is this election here. The current mayor, Callis, and myself done everything we were supposed to do. Got our signatures, filed our paperwork and everything. And we are officially on the ballot as of 5-6 weeks ago. We were on the ballot. Huh?
Was it that long?
Well, August 10th or 12th was the deadline to get your information in. I had mine in a week early. And
but the official ballot didn't come out till later.
All right. What I'm saying is we had our stuff in where we were officially going to be on the ballot 6 weeks ago. Thomas has been on the ballot for a week. Well, he's not even on the ballot. certified as a write-in candidate for a week now, right? So if he goes around telling people, or people assume that I stole his seat on the ballot, that is false.
He could have easily been on the ballot. He would have just been forced to not be alderman anymore.
Right. It says you must resign if you run for mayor. So the reason he didn't run and get on the ballot and do everything that normal people do to run for office is because he thinks he found a loophole where he can keep his seat as alderman and still run for mayor. That's why he's a write-in candidate. He didn't want to do it the right way because he didn't want them to kick him off the board or his seat to become vacant where they had to appoint somebody else.
No, at this point, you've got the other 6 aldermen and the mayor all signing off saying, you're a POS and, ain't nobody going to listen to you anymore. I mean, that was the thing that, she showed me on the Portland City page, that they've all wrote him off as, apologetic for his actions and what he's doing,
Yeah.
Good luck. That's all I can say to you. Good luck. If you're running around spreading lies about Charlie didn't steal your place. If you would have wanted to run, if you'd have told Charlie you wanted to run, he would have let you.
Well, I have no beef with him. I mean, I kind of...
You'd have let him run.
Oh,
he
yeah.
just knows he would have given up his seat. You'd have said, I'm fine. I got my job. I just continue doing what I'm doing.
Well, we had talks beforehand, and I told him, if you're going to run, I won't jump in. That way we don't split votes. And he swore up and down, no, I'm not. You go ahead. You go ahead. No, I'm not. And then at the last minute, he's a write-in candidate. Guess what's going to happen? Me and him's going to split votes. But I'm not mad about it. I'm a little... I wasn't surprised by it. I'll tell you that. I don't trust anybody. I wasn't surprised by it. I was a little irritated, still am. And when I sat back and think about all the conversations we had and the things that went on, I think it was his plan all along. And some of the people that I've been talking to gain their support in town wouldn't confirm me, but they said they wouldn't back in Callis either. And one of those conversations I told you that I came away from thinking from one of the people that they didn't want change. They just wanted their person in there, right?
They wanted their candidate, yeah.
Yeah. One of those people that I talked to you about donated money to buy Thomas signs for his write-in candidacy.
Ah.
So that's what I'm telling you. I think this was planned all along. That's just my opinion. You can't prove that. But if I line all the dots up and cross the T's, that's pretty straightforward what it is. So I am still a little irritated in that, and I'm disappointed in his character.
He's acting,
not only towards...
He's acting just, like I said, like a petulant child in a way. I mean, come in there and speak the facts and sit there and just talk about something new instead of talking about the same old. But in the end, I guess whatever news story was on the news, which I still haven't seen, I guess I'll need to look it up.
All you got to do is go to Channel 4 online. You can watch it. It's
whatever it was.
I think they ran it.
You're giving them new stuff to talk about because you can't. I know I guess he wants bad publicity.
And the sad thing about that, there's many people around town, or in the city government there, that thought me and Thomas were like thick as thieves and best friends and all that. And I kept telling people, no, I mean, me and Thomas know each other and we have conversations, but no, we're not best friends and all that. Well, I mean, we don't hate each other, but we're no. And I guess they didn't believe me. And now that he's a write-in candidate for mayor and all this stuff's going on, then they're finally slowly coming to realization, well, damn, Charlie wasn't lying, was he? No. When I tell you something, I try to tell you the truth. When I have the opinion, I give an opinion. You may call my opinion a lie. That's not a lie. That's an opinion, right? So I don't know. I'm disappointed in how it transpired and all the conversations we had, and and I put a little more faith in him than I should have. I still don't trust anybody.
Even me,
I don't trust anybody.
bitch. Whatever.
So I
would trust you to catch me if I fell backwards. I probably couldn't hold you. If you did a trust fall into my arms, I might not be strong enough. We might both go down.
But anyway, I'm disappointed in his character and how he's handled things. And he can't rationalize and get away from that one thing. And he's got support. I mean, I don't know if he's got enough support to win. We'll have to wait for that. But there's a lot of people, like I said, they're going to vote for him just because he gets on social media and he talks a lot. You know, I told the wife the other day, I said that those two whores are at it again. Because him and the mayor.
I would ask you to put a leash on someone in your house. What?
No.
Come on now. Starting out out of sound-minded body is kind of makes me think the opposite. What?
Hey,
look, the less you say, the more you say.
I understand that, but we're different people, and we have our own minds and our own thoughts. So she's free to think and say whatever the hell she wants to say. And if people don't like it, you know where they go. I mean, that's the way I live. But at least we're not on social media every day, 5 times a day, making videos and crap like the two whores, Callus and Diller are. You know, it's just, I mean, I get tired of seeing it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just shut up.
No, less is more. That's why I always asked you or said, don't be,
I try to go on my mayor page every couple of days and post something, whether it's a, upcoming event or hey, go check this out, or here's the video or whatever, so.
Oh, well.
Well, you ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
I am too, because I'm tired.
Coffee sure ain't doing it. I'm trying to get up. But,
well, everybody go to my mayor page on Facebook, Charles Cole for Mayor. Just search Charles Cole for Mayor. That's the page on Facebook. Like, follow it, share it. You got any questions or anything? You can private message there or ask on the page. Or remember, Monday, September 26th at 5:00, City Hall. Meet and greet for all candidates.
You're taking a day of vacation or something, so you can go be there.
Yep.
Unlike everyone else who either owns their own businesses or paid by the state.
They're already off. They're doing it on their off time.
Yeah, they're not doing it they're not trying for the people. So y'all, we'll see y'all next Sunday morning. We'll see what happens and transpires next week. Have a good week, everyone.
Later.